these documents organized in some way, but you probably never had really good associations with different types of documents. And even if you did, there's probably more associations that can be created once all of this data is digital and put into a geospatial environment. For example, if you zoom into Main Street, now you've got access to the pavement design drawings, the parking meter database, the road sign database, the design drawings for different buildings. It's all right there on the screen with the click of a mouse. So it's much better organization of the data in a GIS. The time it takes to get from all this data in your file cabinets in a finished form is concentrated and shortened, so you can actually get it to the users faster. Staff efficiency is improved. If the public access is important. I know at least one of our county clients has this data pushed out to the public, and the public keeps telling them they absolutely are so thankful for it because they've never been able to get to this before. Archival and preservation really can't be underemphasized. It is important to most people, and a lot of the time this is one of the driving factors for this GIS is that we just have to preserve this old stuff that we have, this one-of-a-kind stuff. Or a lot of times they might have some guy nearing retirement that knows all of this data really well in his head. He knows where it is, he knows what it does, why it's important, and nobody else knows. And they need to grab all that intelligence from his brain and suck it into a computer before he retires. So I'd love to answer any questions you have. So ask away.
Okay, thanks, Mike, for that presentation. If you'd like, you can go ahead and hit the *5 key. I'm sorry, I believe it's actually *6 to allow yourself to speak, ask questions. Feel free to also put them in the chat box if you so wish. While we wait for any questions there, Mike, I wanted to, obvious one that always comes up is what's the ballpark figure on these kind of projects? So what are we talking about for cost?
Yep, good question. It is tough to say because it depends on the number of documents that have to be scanned and manipulated. It depends on how much information needs to be recreated once the document is scanned. It also depends on how much of the project you want to do. Perhaps you've got a good desktop scanner and you can scan a file cabinet full of relevant papers, in which case, great, do that. We don't need to do that. Perhaps another thing that matters a lot, actually, is most of your assets are in a map drawer or file cabinet or on a hard drive, and there may be a whole lot of other peripheral documents with the documents, the target documents for this system. It takes, you guys may want to go through and organize that information so that you can give us a box of the relevant documents, all of which is scanned, instead of paying us to stand at your file cabinet full of stuff and have to make decisions. Is this important to scan or is this important to scan? But that being said, something like this, assuming there's a good deal of assets we're talking about, will cost anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000, depending on how much data there is and how much work needs to be done by us or the client.
Okay. We have a question here regarding where they can possibly see the system in action. Who has it live out there that they can possibly go look at it?
Yeah. One place is at our website. There's a link to the Washington County eDocs site at our website at www.aerialservicesinc.com.
And that is in the eDocs GIS section of the website.
Yeah. That is almost an exact duplicate of the same system that is available and is online to the public in Washington County, Iowa. I don't remember their URL, but you should be able to find that.
I believe just a Google search will lead you to that site. It's off of their secondary roads and engineering section of their webpage.
Yeah. Our site is identical to the Washington County site, except that a lot of the scanned images that are available at the Washington County site are not available on our site, just because there was such a plethora of very large documents. For example, one of the things we scanned for Washington County, which was actually kind of interesting, was railroad maps. And these were old maps made in the, 20s, 30s, and 40s, that sometimes they were like 30 feet long. So we scanned these 3-foot wide by 30-foot long pieces of paper, and they make for some pretty big digital files.
Okay, Mike, I have a question for you here. What about this system? You addressed some of these issues during the event or during the discussion, but what about this system is personally or working on it has been the toughest part about it? What if someone was trying to go out and do something like this on their own? What would be the biggest roadblock to that?
For the client, the biggest roadblock is figuring out how to create the relationships between the different documents, assigning geospatial intelligence to the data, and then just physically handling and scanning all of this documents in an intelligent way, so that one, it's pulled out of their the filing system, scanned, and then put back in the filing system the same way.
Alrighty. So are there any more questions from the audience in regards to eDocs? Oh, I see another one that's just popped up here.
The answer is yes.
What was the question, Mike?
The question is, we have an ARC SDE on Oracle. Does this system integrate with this configuration, or does it have its own database that we would need to be licensed for? No, it will integrate to whatever system you have, whether it's SDE with SQL Server or SDE with Oracle, or something else. It could be Microsoft Access. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's another thing. That's a way the client can save money is different clients may have much more of this data already in a database. That saves money because it doesn't need to be entered. So, good question. Yes. Anything else, John, or anyone else?
Well, Mike, I believe that's all. Unless we have any more questions. All right. Well, I want to thank our attendees for joining us today. If you have any questions regarding eDocs, would like to talk to myself or Mike with regards to further details, you can feel free to give us a call here at Aerial Services or pop us an email. You'll be receiving information after the event on how to get a hold of us. So appreciate your attendance today, and we look forward to speaking with you in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.